Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is a Dollar Tree farmhouse Easter decor, but one of the things that I love about this so much, and Easter in general, is that Easter is one of those holidays that once it is over, you can transition so many things into regular decor if farmhouse is your thing, or you can make a lot of things into gift baskets later on. I love it, and I tried to make these as neutral as possible. Well, at least two of them. The wreath, obviously, you can't reuse, but I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
And please hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a video. Let's go ahead and get started. For my first project, I'm going to make a little bunny wreath using this little sign from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and take it apart. Now, you can go ahead and use just regular staple removers. I'm using this tool that I got at Lowe's, but it's not necessary because these come out so easily. So you can even yank these off. That's how easily these are coming out. Now that I have this separate, I'm going to go ahead and make my little wreath, and I'm going to use the small wreath form from Dollar Tree to attach everything. I'm going to go ahead and flip my bunny head and add some popsicle sticks. Now, the higher up that you add the popsicle sticks, the more support you have on the bunny since it's the bigger, heavier piece. So I added 2 of those, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to insert them into the wreath. These you can pull apart, which is why I like reusing them so much. So I'm going to find a space where it fits, insert it, and then go ahead and add some hot glue so that it doesn't budge. So now I'm going to add the bottom pieces, and for this I'm going to use hot glue as well. So I'm just going to flip it over and attach using hot glue. So as is, I think this looks really cute if you're into neutral decor, but I'm going to add this Greenery Bouquet to the wreath itself to give it a little pop of color, and one bouquet covered everything that I wanted. I don't usually like to cover wreaths completely, so I just went ahead and took the greenery apart and then just started covering the bottom. I think this looked so cute. I took my side cutters and cut off any excess pieces. If you can't find this greenery at Dollar Tree, definitely check out Walmart. They have excellent greenery for only 97 cents. Just putting that out there because I know Dollar Tree is pretty limited sometimes. Now I just added a little bow up top, and for this I just used leftover Dollar Tree lace. I tied it as if I were tying my shoe. I'm really horrible at making bows, but I just went ahead and hot glued that on there, cut the sides down a little bit, and then glued it to the side so that it all looked like it belonged together. And I think this looks so cute and not expensive at all. This is actually a pretty nice size too to put on your front door or inside. It's completely up to you. For my next craft, I'm going to be using these galvanized tins from Dollar Tree, and the letters on these aren't raised, so you can actually remove them using 100% acetone. I finally was able to find some at Dollar Tree and make sure that it says 100% acetone. I put this on a rag, and then I just started to buff it into the letters. I was really scared to do this because I thought it would ruin the galvanized finish, but it totally doesn't. So if you are looking to use these little buckets for something else, to add vinyl or your own design, definitely consider removing the letters this way. Now this did take a little bit of pressure to come off, but everything did come off with no issue, and I did remove the front and the back. Once I was finished, I had this adorable little tin, and now it's time to decorate it. I am covering this up, so you can use another tin if you don't want to use this one, and I'm using the Dollar Tree carrots. I love that they have twine. Now you can set it like this, or you can push it in to fit the taper of the bucket, but I'm going to go ahead and have it push out. Since twine and hot glue stick really well together, this is not a problem. You really don't have to worry about it falling off. and I'm going to put them side by side, but you can leave spaces in between if you don't want to buy as many packs as I did. In total, it took me 6 packs of carrots to cover this entire tin. I know that's a little pricey, but I do plan on keeping this out year round. I think this looks really good and doesn't exactly look like Easter decor. Definitely looks like farmhouse decor. I love this. I also think you can use the same method to make an Easter basket, but I'm going to keep it green. So you can add so many things. You can add the greenery bouquets from Dollar Tree, but those are hard to find, or even the picks from Dollar Tree. These are hard to find as well, and it would take a whole lot of them to fill this up. So I decided to use the 97-cent eucalyptus from Walmart. I love this. It's nice and full. The only thing I don't like are those sticks. Those are meant so that you can heighten your pieces of eucalyptus, but I like the height where it's at, so I'm just going to clip everything down and then place them in my bucket. I never cut the stems down just in case I want to reuse this, so I am just going to bend the bottom and then start placing them in. As you can see here, one bouquet actually fills up a nice amount, but I went ahead and added another one after fluffing everything out, and 2 would be enough, but I did 3 in total. I think it made it look nice and full, and I really love the look of this. You can add little eggs to this, you can add flowers to this, you can add whatever you want, but I really wanted to keep it simple, and I love the finished results. Let me know in the comments what you would add to it. I know a lot of people would definitely go crazy and add lots of beautiful things. My third project, I used the Tumbling tower game from Dollar Tree. I used 1 pack, but I did have a lot left over, and I used my square tool. If you don't have this, you can just use a regular ruler or books, anything to keep a straight edge. Now I'm going to grab my Jenga piece and inspect them, make sure that they are not broken at the ends so that it doesn't throw off how it looks, because some of them do come a little broken. Now I'm going to set them all up and see that they fit perfectly, and if they don't fit, I remove the Jenga piece and replace it with one that does. Now I'm going to add this using Gorilla Glue, but you can use tacky glue. You can use whatever glue you want. The only one I don't recommend is hot glue because it creates bulk and it doesn't really hold. So this is how I'm attaching them. I'm just adding glue to the bottom and the sides, or the top and the sides, and pressing it in really, really well. You're going to be tempted to wipe down that glue up top, but it's a lot easier to sand when it has that little bulk up there. And now I'm going to add a second row. This part is optional, but I wanted to make this look a little thicker. So instead of adding the same way, I just added glue to the bottom and then put those pieces up top so there's no glue seeping through and it stains evenly. After I attached my top row, I did move this around to make sure that it is perfectly straight. And I will tell you this, I did mess up and make this a little short, so I did end up adding 4 more Jenga pieces. I thought that the container that I was going to use was a little bit smaller, but I ended up actually buying the bigger one, so I needed to make this a little bigger. Now I did end up adding a lid to this, and you can use these rounds, which I have them left over from when I created the fruit baskets. These come in a 3-pack. They're like $1 something, but I wanted to make this free, so I ended up using an old candle. If you have an old candle or an old jar, this is a perfect way to recycle it. I removed that plastic piece on the inside, and then I added a little knob. You don't have to add the knob. This I got at Lowe's. This was like $1.50 for 2. And I'm gonna attach this using my Gorilla Wood glue, but you can also screw this in. If you don't want to use this, there's plenty of little beads that you can use from Dollar Tree, but I think that this makes it look really, really good. I'm going to center it right in the middle of my lid and let it dry really well. And once it's dry, I'm going to stain this. You can also skip this step, but I wanted to stain it to make it look a little different. I used Minwax's Dark Walnut in a Dollar Tree sponge brush. I put it on a protective surface, made sure that I stirred my stain really well, and then brushed it on there. If you don't want to use stain, you can always use water-drown brown paint, some coffee. It's up to you. There's there's so many hacks to staining. Since these are Jenga pieces and they do have holes, I prefer to use the brush so that I can push the stain into the crevices, especially right here on this. It has that little crevice from where the plastic piece sat. So I add a generous amount and then I just wipe it down with a rag if there's too much on there. As I mentioned earlier, I did make this a little shorter than I should have, so I added 4 more pieces and then stained those pieces together to make it complete, making it this size fit my little Dollar Tree vase a little bit better. Originally, I was going to use a cup, but I loved the way the vase looked so much more, which is why I didn't show it earlier, and I'm sorry, but look how good this looks. So now I am going to flip this way, and I think this looks really cute. When you add your little lid to the top, it makes everything just look so complete. But like I said, you can just add the knob or not at all. To add this, I'm going to use my E6000, and I'll leave the link below like I always do for the key and the E6000. I always get questions. I'm going to press it in and let it dry really well. And when it finally dries, I'm going to use the ceramic bunny from Dollar Tree. It does have a little thing up top, so with my side cutters, I'm actually going to pull it out, and you can cover that up. I'm going to use some Reindeer Moss right in the middle, not too much. I then added my bunny on top and then the cover, and I pushed in all the greenery using a popsicle stick. You can leave it as is, nice and plain, or you can add some flowers, some eggies, whatever you want. I ended up taking this off and adding the Dollar Tree greenery. I cut the little stems down and glued them to the moss, to the bunny. It just gives it a nice little pop of color, and since none of this is permanent, you can always remove the bunny and use it for anything else around your house once Easter's over. You can use it for Christmas. I think this is just such a beautiful decor piece. I really hope that you enjoyed these Dollar Tree Farmhouse Easter decor pieces. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite, if you would use these all year round. And as usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one.